You get such a nice view from the river. I honestly don't do it often enough. So here in Bangkok, taxis are not only really cheap, but they're by far the most convenient way to get around this city. But it's actually not how I recommend getting around this city. And in today's video, I'll explain why. So actually this doesn't just apply to Bangkok, but any city in the world that you would travel to, and I really believe this. So taxis are definitely the most convenient and the easiest way to get around in a city, but you don't get to really experience a city when you do that. I really recommend people take public transport. And actually sometimes, especially here in Bangkok with the way the traffic is, sometimes it's quicker to take public transport to go places. So I know when you're in a new country, it can be kind of daunting to take public transport. Admittedly, I used to take taxis everywhere when I would travel, but it wasn't until I took a train for the first time, and you get to really experience a whole different side of the city, and it's really rewarding. So come with me today, I'll show you a few different ways to get around here in Bangkok. So here in Bangkok, you can take the BTS SkyTrain, which is just behind me up here. Otherwise, you can take the MRT subway, which is a great way to get around as well. Both forms are unbelievably cheap to get around, and they're actually quite easy to use as well. Alright, well that's a quick look at the MRT, but let's go around and check out the BTS. So when you come to the train station to buy a ticket, you can use, there's the machines everywhere that you can use, otherwise there's the ticket booth windows as well, and you can go speak to a person. That's a good way if you want to speak to a person and find out, just to double check what platform you're supposed to be on and exactly where you're supposed to go. They all speak English, so it's all quite an easy process. You can also purchase cards that you reuse and top up all the time. Personally, I buy tickets each time because Thailand is very much a cash society here, and I end up with a pocket full of coins, so for me, it's always a great way to just get rid of a bunch of coins that I have rolling around in my pockets. Now, if you're going somewhere in the morning or the late afternoon, during rush hour basically, it's often quicker to take the train because the traffic here gets insane. So not only is that like a great and really convenient way to get around, but the view from the train is awesome as you go through the city. So the first country I ever took a train in was actually Seoul, of all places. If you've ever been to Seoul, you'll know the subway is insane. I'll put a picture of the map up on the screen for you to see, but it was super intimidating. But as soon as I went in there, I realized, all the signs are in English, and it was actually a very easy process for me to get on the train and get to where I needed to go. Everywhere you go, each country also have their own apps that sort of talk you through the whole thing. Seoul has a great app that'll explain to you, what station you need to go to, how to transfer the trains, what side of the train you can get off at. I know when I was in Tokyo, the subway in Tokyo is an experience as well, but they've got great apps to tell you everything as well. I've been to Osaka, very much the same. But it's actually getting even easier now. So here in Thailand, and actually in most countries, you can use Google Maps, the app on your phone, and that will talk you through the whole thing as well. So if you just open the Maps app, search from where you're going to where you need to go, there's a little option that you can click for the train, and it will tell you where you need to go. I find the one here in Thailand is actually really good. It tells you what platform you need to be in, what the exit is, even tells you the price of the ticket. So don't get me wrong, there is definitely a time and a place for taxis. Like when you come here and you get off the plane and you need to get to your hotel, I wouldn't recommend taking a train or any other way. Taxi is definitely the best option. And if you're drunk and it's 2 o'clock and you're trying to get home, take a taxi for sure. I'm just saying when you're out and about during the day, explore other options. So one thing I really recommend to people when you travel is to get out of your comfort zone. I talk about this a lot, but I find for me personally, every time I get out of my comfort zone, I have the most rewarding experiences. And then while we're on the topic of getting out of your comfort zone, eat the street food here. The street food is so good. I know a lot of people comment in my videos and say, nah, you get sick from the street food or it's not healthy or whatever like that. It's amazing. I eat it all the time. I've never been sick. Check out this. I got this fried squid now. This was 60 bucks. That's $2. 60 bucks. $2 for lunch. It's unbelievable. Wow. Oh wow, that's unreal. Oh man, that was awesome. I've never been there before. Bangkok Bazaar. Great place, down by the river. Really good food. So another great way to get around, or what can be a great way to get around, is by tuk-tuk. You just need to go through the challenge of agreeing on a price for when you want to go somewhere. So a lot of the time, if you're a tourist or they think you're a tourist, they'll quote you ridiculous prices and you just need to sort of bargain with them. Some of them won't budge and you just like give up at that point. But if you can agree on a good rate, then it's a great way to get around. So a good way to do that is to use an app like Bolt. It's a taxi app. And you can look up how much it will cost in a taxi to go from where you are to where you want to go. And you can use that as leverage when giving them a price that you want to pay. No deal. That dude wanted 100 baht to drive me about 200 meters down the road. Nope. All right, after a lot of negotiation, I finally managed to find one. So these are a fun way to get around. They're a little bit scary sometimes, but they're a great way to see the city as well. And they're just like a bit of a novelty kind of thing. It was really easy to get them at a good price before, but now that tourism is starting to resume again, it's getting harder and harder to negotiate the right price. Anyway, I managed to do it with this guy. Thank you. Bye. Sweet. So a great way that local people travel, and I often do too sometimes, is to take these little bikes. They're everywhere, sort of on main roads and on major intersections, and they've got set prices for distance. You just jump on and they'll take you to where you need to go. The only downside with them is a lot of them don't have helmets or a spare helmet that you can use. They wear helmets themselves, but they don't have one for you. So I would only advise that for like short trips or if you're just going through traffic or something like that. But it is a very, very cheap way to get around. Another deterrent for me is that often you'll see them sitting around drinking beers. great way to get around in Bangkok is by ferry. So to figure out where you can go on the ferry, you can see on Google Maps, if you go into the map and you zoom right in, there's a little blue dotted line that shows you where all the ferries run. You basically hop on. They're all really cheap. They're sort of around 10, 15, 20 baht for the trips up and down here. Also, all through Bangkok, there's little canals everywhere that run through the city, and a lot of these have ferries on them as well. So again, the same, if you go into Google Maps and zoom in, you can see where they are. Basically, you just jump on and you can pay once you're on the ferry. So not only is this like a really great and cheap way to get around, it's a really cool way to see the city as well. You get such a nice view from the river. I honestly don't do it often enough. And doing it at this time of day as the sun's going down is awesome as well. I just love how Thailand has these temples everywhere. I was just walking down some random street. I was trying to get back down to the river so I could get a shot from there, and then just come across this beautiful temple here. Oh, so peaceful. So one form of transport I guess I didn't talk about is buses. I personally don't like buses, so I pretty much never catch buses. I caught one bus one time in Korea. I haven't caught any buses here, apart from like the long distance coaches and stuff like that. But just for getting around, I try and take trains most of the time. So I do hope this was helpful. I do encourage you, jump on the train, try different ways of getting around, take a tuk-tuk if you can get the right price. Jump on a ferry. This is an amazing way to get around, is up and down this river here. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap the video up here. I need to find myself a beer and enjoy this sunset. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.